All right, so you guys have 3 colors. You got to make sure you sharpen. The first thing that we're going to do is start out with the lightest one first. The colors that I have are basically all purples. If your pencil breaks, it's just because it's broken inside, so make sure that you keep it sharp. What I need you to do is understand the difference between value and gradation. So value is the transition of light to dark of one color. So make sure you write that down. Transition of one color. Transition of one color that goes underneath value. So right now when we're working with values, we're just going from light to dark of the same color. All right, so first step when you're working with value, I don't care where you put your highlight at. What you're going to do is take your first color and you are going to use small pencil strokes and you're going to color in with the lightest color over the whole thing. Your highlight, you might end up keeping white as paper, so let's try to see if we can do that. I'm going to go ahead and leave. You know what? No, I'm not. I'm just going to do the lightest color all over. I'm not really trying to blend it right now. I'm just getting a layer down. I'm not pressing hard. I'm just getting a layer down. Out of your 2 colors, you're going to pick the middle, which is now going to be this. So this is my transition from this pink to this darker pink. So the next thing I'm going to do with my value transition is use the middle color, like the medium color, and I'm going to color everywhere but where I want my highlight to be. I'm just going to put the highlight in the center. So I'm going to layer the other color, and as I come in, I'm going to lift to the center. So I'm going to leave my lightest color exposed. So you're not changing pressure at all.
We go with the medium color.
This is middle, medium color. So as you get into the center, you're going to lift just a little bit. Lift just a little bit so that you're still exposing the lightest color wherever you want the highlight. So for me, I'm just putting the highlight in the center for the sake of the demo. So it should be pretty smooth actually because you have really, really sharp pencils. And then the last step is to take the darkest color and then go just where the darkest spots are. So press and lift. So when you hit the darkest areas, it's the least amount of work because you're just putting it where the darks are, which probably isn't too many of the areas. So just for the sake of the demo, I'm just going to put it on the edges. When you're looking at your subjects, obviously you have to be able to place the darks and the lights where they are. This is just a practice to show you how to use the pencils and how to get your transitions. All right, so values transition from light to dark with one color. Gradation is with multiple colors. So we're going to have the transition from one color to another basically, but it's the same concept. So out of your 3 colors, I'm going to transition from purple to green because they're next to each other on the color wheel. They are both cool colors, so they're going to blend well. Out of these 3 pencils that I've chosen, same concept. We're going to start with the lightest color, which is, to me, the green. So I'm going to go with my lightest color, same concept. So you're going to shade, put your layer down with your lightest color, And then the trick for this one is going to be a little harder with the value because you have to get the colors to melt with each other. The other cool thing with gradation is you guys can use, you could try to use complementary colors. Sometimes you'll be able to put like red over your green and it'll just make it look like a darker red to help shade it instead of adding black with it. That's always a good trick too. So out of the next two, I'm going to put the next middle color, which is this one. And I'm going to really lightly blend on the outside. And I'm going to put my highlight in the middle. So you guys can see I'm not pressing very hard at all. I'm trying to keep it really light. If I press too hard right away, then it's going to be really hard to layer the colors. Keep it sharp because the sharper your pencil, the better it is to transition.
Wait, do we do darker color second?
The middle, the medium, so you do your light first and then you do your medium. And now I'm going to go and grab my darkest and get my contrast in there. So I'm going to press a little harder just to do the edges. To mix. Again, this is just for the sake of the demo, but if you're looking at your still life or whatever you're drawing, you're not just going to shade edges to dark or the edges dark and light in the center. You're going to have different places where you have darks and mediums and lights. So when you put down that first layer of your lightest color, yes, you're probably going to shade the object with that base color, but then when you put the mediums down, it's not just on the edges. You're going to have mediums all over the place that transition into the highlights, and then you're going to have the darkest do the same. And I'm actually going to go back to the medium, and I'm going to press a little harder to get that color a little bit more rich. And I'm even going to go back to the highlight and make that green even a little brighter in the middle so you can tell where it's transitioning.